In the spring of 2009, workers for the City of Windsor went on strike and were on the picket line for 101 days. And during this time, the grass at all city parks went uncut. At first, the dandelions seemed to be taking over, but over time, the grass grew into waves of plush green. And within these grasses grew wildflowers, and rare birds took up residence and built their nests and raised their young. It was the end of May that I noticed how amazing the long grasses looked along the riverfront, the way they swayed in the breeze and seemed to mirror the moving water of the Detroit River. During a few trips on Riverside Drive East, I noticed a couple of mounds of daisies growing close to the roadside, just east of the Great Western Park sign. On seeing these daisies and the long grasses on one particular trip, I started thinking about the positive aspects resulting from the strike. I wanted to reflect this positivity and create a small change, at least within myself. I started braiding the long grasses. At first, the braids were raised and somewhat messy, but over time I refined my process and began using French braiding techniques to create a tight braid close to the ground and make it look like a carpet when done in a large area. I considered it a small gesture. My motives weren't political. I wasn't cutting the grass. I was just interested in being outside, enjoying the city despite the negative undercurrents, and me doing a repetitive task and meditative, and working with my hands and creating something that would eventually be cut, transformed, and disappear. I began a couple tests on braiding grass along a mound of daisies, and I snapped a few photos and sent them to the Windsor Star. I received a response that night, and they were going to run the story, and I went with that energy of my newfound project and invited friends to join me in the braiding of the grass at Great Western Park. I've had friends join me throughout the braiding process, and I've had people visit me and to look at the work. Through information sharing using Facebook, Twitter, and media coverage on CBC Radio and the CBC's The National, I've had many people approach me to discuss the work and overarching concerns. So as I was working on this braiding project, I had time to process my thoughts and my recent art production and practice. Over the past year, I've been thinking of various ways I would use the vacant lot of my former family home. The house has long since gone, but the space remains vacant. I have been documenting the space's transformation over the past few years. I'm interested in the transformation through neglect. It's covered in meadow flowers, or what many people consider weeds, and many animals are utilizing the foods produced there. I've seen many American goldfinches eating the seeds from the 7-foot thistle plants. Adjacent to the vacant lot is the city park, which is not mowed too frequently. I have been creating grass braids in this park and around the lot. The grass braiding project has allowed me to enter the lot and utilize the materials found there, meadow plants and flowers. I'm interested in what this vacant lot, this place and space, and what it means to me and what it means to the neighbors and its surrounding community.